Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is Jatan with All Things Jatan. I am a solo Christian mom. I have 3 daughters. I'd like to just give like a little rundown just so that you know that it's not just coming from out of the sky. I really do this with the strength of God, by the way. So today, the title of this video is called Empowered Mom, Navigating Health and Wellness Amidst the Chaos. So with this being January, I had so many things thrown my way in 2023. I gotta get used to saying 2024, but no, back in 2023, I had so many things from my health, my wellness, my kids' schedule, everything that you could think of that would be like, look, maybe this is not the time for me to be focusing on this. Maybe I'll wait until the new year, but the one thing that clicked to me is that there's always going to be something going on. There's always going to be a need for my attention and my demand. So with that being said, we gotta go with the curveballs or the balls that are thrown our way. So I wanted to go over some tips that have helped me 2023 and that I'm going to be continuing on for 2024 to help me remain focused. And number one, that first tip that I'm going to be giving is set realistic goals. I feel like when you do anything, you have to have a plan. One of the things I've been very transparent about was I'm horrible at meal planning. Not because I don't like to cook or anything like that, but there's never any food left. Like what I cook for dinner, what I cook for breakfast gets consumed right then and there. So it's like even when I buy more, it's like a signal going off in my kid's mind that, okay, she bought more, it means they eat more. And it just never happens that way. So with the kids being at school, I usually make up my meals. I usually have the same breakfast, which if you guys want, just comment down below. We would like to see a what you eat in a day video. For the most part, everything remains the same. And I'm sorry, girl, for the lighting. But for the most part, even when I'm fasting, I have the same meals. Like whatever I find, I stick to. And that's just how it goes. But like I said, the first tip would be to have a plan. As a busy mom, I don't know what I would do without a plan. If I sat up there and said to myself, hey, I'm going to work out 3 to 4 days a week, I need to know that in my mind. Because if an appointment comes up for me or my kids, then I need to determine what days are those 3 to 4 days. Is it going to be consecutive? Is it going to be a rest day in between there? Like, I need a plan in order to make things happen. And that also allows me to give myself grace, because if I know, like I said, I have a doctor appointment, that may be the day that I sit up there and have my rest day. And right now, my rest days are usually Friday and Sunday. Sunday, I go to church. Friday is like that one day before the weekend gets to popping. I have a really intense class on Saturday. So that's usually how I set it up. But if I have to change my Friday, it's never going to be a Sunday. Knock on wood. But if I have to change my Friday to a Tuesday or a Tuesday, whatever, just have those already incorporated into your schedule. Do a tap in, like check on a weekly basis. What do your kids got going on? What do you have got going on? Whether it's personal, work, whatever, have that idea and make your plan work around that. So I know that it may be difficult to begin with, but you don't want to give up on yourself because you have an appointment or a meeting that you only have once a year. Don't let that throw you off your track, is basically all I'm saying. So, okay, so tip number 2, prioritize self-care. Some of these things that I'm going to be giving to you in this video have been mentioned throughout other videos where I was giving my tips and tricks when it comes to different things, because it is a commonality. Like sometimes as a solo mom, a solo parent, as an individual, you get the least end of the stick. Like you get whatever's left over after you pour into everyone else. And like I said previously, it's very important that you are constantly refilling yourself with the things that you need on a regular basis. So schedule regular self-care activities to recharge and maintain your well-being. I don't care if that's a weekly bubble bath, you add some Epsom salt, have some candles around, on a monthly basis you set up maintenance appointments to where you're going to get your hair, your nails done. I started mine, y'all, but look, one of them I haven't finished putting them on. But that, like, whatever you deem to be self-care or rewarding for yourself, make sure you incorporate that. And like I said before, sometimes I will incorporate that in the goals that I've already set for myself. If I'm going to work out 3 to 4 days a week, those days that I've assigned for my rest days, I will be intentional and have those set aside as my self-care days. And you can do it on the days as well. Like, you can do this on the nightly, whatever you need to recharge yourself, create a self-care out of it. The third tip next that we have going on here is create a routine. Establish a daily routine that includes dedicated time for exercise, health, and healthy meals. So again, for me, I am a 5 a.m. morning girl. I'm definitely up a whole hour before I get my wellness activities started. But this gives me time before the whole house gets up. This gives me time to get home in time to get the whole house up. So I am a morning girl, and I'm so happy that the gym that I decided to go to, they offer morning classes. Now, let me just say this. When I first started going to the gym, because if you know my story, I lost close to 100 pounds without even the gym. Like, I was doing things at home, just making sure that I was watching what I was eating, and I stuck to a lot of cardio. So when I joined the gym back in October, my whole goal and thought frame around working out was to incorporate strength training, like getting more weights and everything in my lifestyle, in my routine. So with that being said, I was going to the gym. Even though I was saying for strength training, I was doing a lot of cardio. And I try to do cardio anyway because I'm a visual person. So if I set my goal to sit up there and burn a certain amount of calories during the day, I need my cardio to help me get that started. So if it's going to be a part of my warm-up or my cool-down, I'm going to add cardio. I can't get it out of my mind right now. But I also incorporate strength training. So recently I've been taking classes. So I do the spinning classes. I do body pump, which they incorporate weights during the training. It's very intense. I always set a goal to try to challenge myself each time I go. So sometimes if they say to do squats, I might change it to a burpee, vice versa. But create a routine. Know what you're going to be doing on a regular basis, and work around that. I also have 2 amazing women that, like I said before, I met in my Bible study group. So if you have accountability partners, that is awesome. And that's going to lead me into my 4th point that I'm going to bring. Make family activities out of your health and wellness. Like, if you can't make it to the gym, if it's storming, whatever barriers are there preventing you from maybe going to the gym like you normally would, incorporate your kids. Get out and go for a walk. Walk around your neighborhood. Walking is like the least talked about but more effective way to get cardiovascular health. It has a lot of benefits, you know, so don't count walking out because it may not come in the form of what you're used to. Don't sleep on walking. You know, like, walking is the GOAT. So incorporate your kids. Cut on some music. Dance for a little bit. Get them active. Like, the kids today, of today's society, like, my kids are homebodies. I say all the time that you can see an imprint from their bodies from being in bed all day. Like, get them up, get them moving. Help them create those healthy routines so that, you know, it carries throughout their life with them. I said before that I really didn't see health and wellness emphasized growing up. So my kids are seeing this firsthand, how serious I'm taking my health and wellness. Like, don't wait until you get sick or, you know, you have to be put on some type of regulated diet or lifestyle to jump into action. Do it now. Now, the next one was going to be to plan meals in advance. Like I said, out of 10 categories that I include in my health and wellness journey, this is probably my least effective, and it does impact me in a lot of ways. Like, if I don't at least know what I'm going to eat, sometimes I will settle and have snacks. and snacks usually come in the form of the least nutrient dense things, but I like to consider myself as being like on a balanced meal plan, like something that I could see myself sustaining for the rest of my life. Like, I'm never going to sit up there and say, oh, I'm never going to have a donut again, because reality is the donut spot down here got the best donuts in all of Georgia. Argue with somebody else. In fact, I'm from Delaware. I lived in Delaware for majority of my life, and hands down, this place has the best donuts. We're going to talk about that another time, because this is about our health and wellness journey. But I satisfy my cravings, and I feel like at least if I know what proteins, what carbs, or like if I at least know an idea of what I'm working with, then I can go from there. But sometimes I have those days to where I don't feel like it. Like, I had a call from my brother the other day, was like, oh, I need to know how to make fried chicken. And I'm like, boy, I made fried chicken in a long time. Like, granted, it's still something that I know how to make, but I just do not fry food in my house. I use the air fryer, but I'm not drenching things in flour and all that. She's not doing all that. So have a plan. Have the foods that you, healthy options on hand, so that when you don't feel like cooking, you're grabbing the right things. Because y'all know I can go off on the tangents, but again, I just like to be transparent. I'm not 100% all the time. I like to consider myself like an 80-20 type of person, but whatever works. Like, these are traits and habits that I'm building that have formed like the lifestyle that I have now. So next, stay hydrated. Okay, stay hydrated. This used to be a struggle of mine, and one of the things that I said, I don't care if I'm going shopping and I'm going to be going for 5 hours. I don't care. I'm going to have a handy dandy water bottle on deck. I'm going to keep it filled up, and every now and like whenever I get the urge to, I'm going to be intentional about drinking. Like, you have to stay hydrated. Like, I used to say all the time, like, it don't matter what workout I do, I never sweat, I never break a sweat. And now your girl is drenched. Like, I'm having sweat spots on my clothes when I leave the gym. Granted, I love my Alani and I love like my pre-workout from EHP Lab, the Oxyshred. I usually take that about 20 minutes prior to my workout, and that'll help me like push through, because I always work out on an empty stomach. That's just something that I prefer. I will get sick, nauseously sick, if I try to eat like on my stomach or whatever. But after those 2 beverages, and I don't always even have them on the same day. Like, if I have my Oxyshred, then I'm gonna have my Alani. It just depends on what I got in inventory. But either way, I'm guzzling and drinking water all day. Like, that is something that I'm going to have my house stocked with. I don't even drink other beverages. Like, the most you might see me do is like to add like a lemon or some fresh fruit into my water, maybe some mint. I will have occasionally some tea or some coffee, but I've eliminated like all the bad creamers, and I got used to it. Like, at first I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to survive. I might as well just figure out how to eliminate coffee from my routine and my diet. But I drink decaf. Like, it's not even that I'm drinking it for to have the energy or whatever. Like, I like making my coffees, okay? Like, I'm a whole barista when it comes to my coffee. So I always make sure that before and after I have any of those things that I'm replacing it with a lot of water. And one of the other things that I started doing was to make like my own home natural electrolytes. And I will sometimes, if I feel like I'm behind my schedule as far as drinking water, I will add like a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt to my water, and I also add like lemons, like I said, so just to give it like a little bit of taste. Yeah, but stay hydrated. Make sure you are doing that. Get your water bottle. I like drinking from a straw. I took my straw out to have my smoothie earlier, which is why I don't have it here. But I just like to hurry up and just guzzle it down, so that way I'm not thinking about it. But you get used to it over time. Your body will start to crave it. You get acclimated. You can also opt for short, effective workouts, like high intensity workouts. Maybe not in the beginning if you're new to working out, but that's a quick way to like get your heart rate up and pumping without spending hours and hours in the gym. Like, you can work your way up to that. I feel like once I started seeing the results that I was getting, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to be in here a little longer. Or like the fact that now I'm loving the classes that I've joined. They're a little bit longer, but I don't get the whole class all the time. Like, now that my kids are back at school, I may go in and do half cardio and then a half an hour of the class, because that's all time will permit. Like, the classes don't start until a certain time, so I can't be in there all the time. So let me see, I want to make sure I get everything in here. And my kids, also make sure that you are getting adequate sleep. I feel like if you are not striving for 8 hours at least of sleep every night, you're going to experience extreme burnout. So like I said, if you got to cut down your workout, it's always easy for me to work out in the morning. I know people be like, oh, I can't get up that early. I can't. You got to give it a try. You got to give it a try. Like, the very first time, my kids be sick of me because when I come home after a workout, I'm dancing. I'm so pumped up from like the adrenaline of working out that it usually carries me throughout the day. And I also use this app on my phone called Zero. It is, and it's not sponsored by any means, but I use the free program. So I put in there what time I'm going to be, like, let's just say intermittent fasting. I put in my activity level and I link my Apple Watch to it. So it gave me the time frame to which my body kicks into fat burning mode. And